Hello.
Hey,
Welcome. It is the AlfromDtown&Chili442 Show. And of course we are on episode 65.
dang. I
Look at
haven't really been keeping close track lately.
Yeah, I have. Because I
Wow.
have to. But if I didn't have to, I wouldn't know what number we were on.
Man, it'll be 100 someday. That'll be a trip.
Man, it will. We're 35 away from it.
We can do it.
So we just got to keep this train wreck on the tracks for 35 more weeks.
Yeah.
Unless we
Well,
take a couple weeks off during the summer.
Yeah, about
Which
the end
we
of
might.
summer.
Hey, look. Howard Stern does it. Free Beer and Hot Wings does it. Why can't Al and Evan take a couple weeks off?
That's true. We can.
We could start a GoFundMe too and get that shit paid.
No.
Help Al and Evan go to Jamaica further.
Broadcast live.
Man, that is a GoFundMe. If they were honest about it and shit, be like, hey, I just want to go somewhere and sit on a beach and smoke some weed. I'd give a dude $20 for that. I would.
Honesty goes a long way.
Yeah, it does. It really does. So Evan, how was your weekend?
So far pretty uneventful. I'm still getting over the Rona, just that cough.
Uh-huh.
Other than that, and a little congestion and cough. Other than that, I'm back to my normal. Just I don't know. I've been kind of a mess lately, so I haven't been doing much. Laying around. I got back on watching my Better Call Saul. About done with that, and who? Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's it, huh?
Yeah, pretty quiet weekend here.
Yeah, I didn't I got out today for a little bit. And the only reason I got out today because when I woke up there was a little bit of snow on the ground. And I was thinking, hey, this is a great time to hit stores. Wrong. By the time I actually got up and got dressed and everything, all the snow had melted. There wasn't nothing.
Hmm.
I jump in my truck. I run out. I bought me a nice coat, a real nice coat, but I needed a scarf. Nothing fancy, just a scarf.
Hmm.
So I went to our local Walmarts. They had kids' scarves. They had women's scarves. No men's scarves. None.
Yeah.
So I get I get on the phone. They said Kohl's out at the mall. So I went. They didn't have any I liked. So it said Von Mar. Man, the first scarf I see, I'm like, oh man, that's sharp. I grab it, $119 fucking dollars.
It's Von Mar. Like
So
you're out of your mind.
I think the lady saw me, and she realized I had that sticker shock, and she goes, what are you looking for? And I told her, and I was like, it's for show, not go. And I said, so something thin, looks decent. I said, that's what I want. And so she ended up taking me over to where the other ones were, and the one I picked up, it still was high. It was like $38.99. Well, when I get to the register, that lady comes up and scans her like badge thing,
Uh-huh.
and I got so much off. I ended up paying $16 for it.
That's nice.
I was like, sweet. But yeah, $119 for a scarf.
You know what's crazy? Being Von Mar, you could take that back to customer service and you can ship it to yourself and they would ship it to you for free.
Hey, I don't want to carry the scarf out, but something happened when I was walking into Kohl's,
And they
and
gift wrap it too. Yeah, they would gift wrap it and ship it to you. Go ahead. Sorry.
oh yeah, that would have been great. Had me a present shipped, and then I would have acted surprised when I got it.
The $16 ever spent.
Oh man, if I didn't want it today, I probably would have done that. So anyway, When I went into Kohl's, and there was an old lady with a cane, and she's walking up to the door, and I'm like right behind her. And I can hurry up and go around her, or I'm thinking, she's not going to the automatic door. So I kind of kick back for a second and I hold the door open for her. And there's another lady, and she's looking at me and she's smiling. She gets right behind this old lady, and I'm thinking, well, okay, here's the problem I had with this whole situation, because then another lady comes up. They're like hurrying this old lady in. It's like, wait a minute. There's an automatic door to my left, and then there's another set of double doors to the right. And you're coming in like we're in a line for grade school. And then, so we get in the first door. The old lady's making it to the second door, and I just said, "Hey, hold on, let me grab that door for you." And I
Yeah.
grabbed it, and she said, "You were so kind." And the other two walk in right behind her and kind of, split off. They're almost pushing each other, and I'm like, "Wow." Well, then I'm thinking, okay, whatever. That situation's. Oh, I kind of look around, and there's an older lady at the cashier, and she's waving at me and giving me a thumbs up, and the lady at the register is waving and everything, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, people! I held a door for an old lady.
For 10 minutes.
I didn't save a baby. You know what I mean? I felt like there was going to be balloons and streamers falling out of the ceiling and shit. It was very weird that people like were, to me, it almost seemed like applauding something. And all I did,
Was basic.
I helped
What
a
you what
stupid
every guy
person
should
that
do.
could not go and hit the button for the door that opens by itself.
Yeah.
All she had to do was move 3 foot over, and she could have just hit the button, and the door would have swung open for her. Unless she's afraid she'll get hit by that door or something. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know. I've always held doors for people. I was brought up that way.
Yeah, that's the way we grew up. Yeah. Yeah.
So I
I
remember.
mean, my mom doesn't touch a door. When you're somewhere with her, she stops, and I mean, you open the door for her. It's just the way it is, and it's just the way I grew up.
Is that car door too? Do you got to jump out and run around and open her? Oh,
No,
okay.
no.
I was gonna
Eh,
say that'd be funny. If I was her, I'd start doing it.
That's some.
Just act
Yeah.
bougie.
It's something that's really gone by the wayside. I mean, like first date stuff, guys usually do, but I mean, there's very few guys out there that get their woman's car door for them every single time. You know, I
Yeah,
mean, it just doesn't exist.
yeah. Unless you're like a millionaire or supermodel or something, you better get used to opening. And
Yeah.
especially if you're ugly. If you're ugly, you just better, get used to opening up your own car door.
Well, I mean, you got to think where a lot of these traditions came from. People didn't travel by automobile a lot, and the guy, this is his first automobile, and it was the first one he's seen, and he doesn't want her to slam that damn door.
Oh, I never
I
thought
mean,
of that.
I mean, it's really, I think a lot of it where tradition came from was helping get someone get into an antique car, and
Yeah, well,
cars
yeah.
nowadays we travel a lot, like we're in another thing dozens of times a day sometimes.
So you think
Um,
a guy, when the first time that was seen, you think a guy pulled up at like Elam's and said, "Bitch, don't open that car door. I'll get it."
I don't know. All I'm saying is I've had some girlfriends that like I'll get the door. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, don't slam that shit. It's old. It's like, and the doors on that car, it's convertible. There's not like a whole gasketed window frame. They shut easy,
right,
and it's
right.
like it's an old car. Don't slam that shit. It's like I can hear every screw rattle. Just take a quarter turn looser every time. And it's like, I don't know. But times have changed. Just one of those, traditions gone by the wayside.
Yeah, yeah. Too bad too, because I noticed that when I was and I was dressed up a little bit today. I mean, I wasn't like, like I was going to church or a wedding or something like that, but I looked a little nicer than I usually do. And, had a nice pair of dark jeans on, had a nice, well, I think I had this top on, and then I had my coat, so I was kind of, didn't wear a hat, kind of did up my hair a little bit. And, yeah, walking around, I was like, man, I was like the only one in Walmart without pajama pants.
It's so weird. It's the way it is.
I was like, and I saw a whole family. And this
Uh,
isn't like it's in the morning, you get up on a Sunday morning, you're like, man, I'm out of eggs. We got to go to the store. And, maybe you run in and, leave the kids in the car, crack the window or something. Nah, man, they were doing all their grocery shopping. The mom, the dad, and all the kids were in their pajamas. 3 kids.
yeah, it's the way it is. It's go get some books out of like downtown Decatur. You see people walk around Decatur and everything. Everyone years ago had suits and
Mm-hmm.
hats on and coats, and now it's like everybody just lives in their pajamas. Give COVID a little credit for that.
Yeah, but and I understand that, and it's easy to get in. Well, there for a long time, and you're right because I only started doing it a couple of years ago, but um, I would never leave the house in sweatpants.
Me neither.
I never. I mean, I
Mm-mm.
always had jeans on, and I've been trying to make myself do that. I've been getting, putting on a button-up shirt or, throwing jeans on just to go, run if I'm going to run an errand instead of wearing sweatpants because I can't
Y-
bitch about something if I'm doing the same thing. If I
and
if I'm out
I'm
here looking like a slob, unemployed, Cheeto stains on my sweatpants and shit like that, then I can't complain about some other dude looking like that.
Yeah. I've got some skin issues, and I've lived the last 10 months in pajama pants. And I rarely ever leave. I do, it's to a doctor's appointment or something like that. And I went out last week. I had to go to the DMV and I had to go to the hardware store. I put on a pair of jeans, man. I did it.
Yeah.
I had worn jeans since like March.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, I put on a pair of jeans. I'm like, I'm not going out in my PJs. And it's
No,
like, I can't do it. It's
no.
just not me.
We've just become so lazy as a society.
Yeah.
It's easier just to, and I get it. Some people will say, well, I don't give a fuck what people think about me. Well, it's probably a good thing you don't, you know?
Yeah. But hey, I understand wanting to be comfortable because I'm all about it.
Mm,
I would hate to have a job that I had to wear a suit and tie every day. And I like I've had jobs, yeah, where I had not a suit coat but had to wear a shirt and tie. Like I was kind of in sales, although I was inside like sales engineer kind of shit, but
y-
they still made us wear like a tie every day. Like, God, this sucks.
yeah.
I hate anything around my neck and just I don't know. It sucks.
I had a job where I didn't have to wear a tie all the time, but if we were meeting with, new clients or something like that, I'd have to wear one. And I don't know. I kind of liked it, but like I said, I didn't have to wear it every day.
Yeah.
So,
Every once in a while is okay, but not every day.
but I don't know. Like today, I mean, I kind of had a different pep in my step. My attitude was a little different and everything. It was like, not like I was better than anybody, but it was like, I don't know. I kind of felt good about myself. So, you know,
Yeah,
I had a
I can
little,
understand that.
it gives you a little confidence.
I
And
agree. When I go out somewhere, I mean, I want to look decent. I mean,
right,
uh,
look at that homeless guy. People coming up putting dollars in your pockets and shit.
well, okay, the woman's son, he's autistic and okay, he's mid-20s and he just does not that doesn't it's not on his radar, like to shower and look presentable. He just whatever him just I have a shirt on, I have pants on, and he just doesn't care. And I'm like, man, I wish I could have a little of that. I've just never met anybody at that level. It's just like it's you can't program a person that way. It's just the way they are, you know. It's just
Right.
they are focused on what they are doing, and then they don't care about their appearance and everything. He hasn't had a haircut in years. He's got curly hair, and it just kind of gets curlier and curlier, you
I,
know.
I,
And
yeah, but you know what? I kind of dig his hair.
oh, it's cool. It's rock star.
If I could do that, I would.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I look like a scruffy homeless man if I let my hair go. You know, yeah, I can't do
Oh,
nothing with it. I thought your hair looked pretty bitchin' that last time I seen you, man. I was like, damn,
yeah.
Evan's getting ready to join a a
Or a
cover
band.
band, a Cure cover band or something.
I'm getting some rock star hair. Yeah. But
Man,
no, there was a time when we went to Champaign to pick up her son, and you know, he was coming over the weekend, and it was like I thought it was almost like we were picking up a homeless person, you know, and it was just like, and
people,
he's just like, oh, whatever, I'm coming home, I don't care, and it was just like, woo, okay, you know, we'll get you home and everything, and then I found out he met with my cousin that day, um, for something like that. I'm like, and I had talked to my cousin. I'm like, man, I hope he didn't come off looking like a homeless person. It's like, oh no, no, he has just like his enthusiasm and everything. He just overcomes that. You know what I mean? He's
right,
just so
right,
into what he's into. You know, and
yeah, yeah,
I
and
love it. It's so interesting. Such a complete reversal. Of,
yeah,
myself
right.
and getting to know someone like that.
Anyway, man, I thought we got a few news stories, but I thought we'd start off this one, man. Rob Lowe says he had a near death experience with Bigfoot.
Rob Lowe
Yeah,
with Bigfoot. No kidding.
yeah. So I don't know what's going on. Unless you were paying close attention to cable TV, you probably missed Rob Lowe's stint as a paranormal investigator. No, I didn't. And it was horrible. One of the worst shows I've ever seen. And I do not know why I do this shit to myself. But I watch those kind of shows. Like the search for the Loch Ness Monster and the search for Bigfoot. I get into that. One of my favorite shows was that one where they were digging for gold up on that island.
Oh, Gold Rush or whatever. Is
No,
that the
it
show?
wasn't Gold Rush. It was something else, and I can't remember the dang name of it.
Hmm.
Oak Island, the adventure or something, the mysteries of Oak Island or some shit like that. Man, I watch this every week. Oh, we're close to something today. And so then you tune in, you watch the whole 50 minutes or whatever, without commercials. And then they're like, oh, better tune in next week. We'll find something next week. And then you tune in next week. You know how many shows I've been sucked into? I even watched
Yeah.
that Finding Hitler.
Yeah.
And they, man, I don't know. The story we know about Adolf Hitler and everything, that the Russians have his bones and all this, they don't think that was him in that bunker. They think he escaped to South America.
Yeah. I've heard a few different stories, but yeah.
Yeah, and I
I'll have
mean,
to watch that sometime.
yeah, dude, I mean, you got to keep an open mind. I mean, but, you know,
Yeah.
historians have been wrong.
Yeah.
So, I,
I we got suckered into watching somebody recommended to the woman this movie. It was supposed to be a scary movie. Um Soft and Quiet. Have you
uh-uh,
heard of this?
uh-uh.
Oh dear God, please avoid it. Please. The whole movie is a school teacher. She gets off work and she meets with these women. She arranges meeting, and they're a bunch of white supremacist women, like a half dozen of them. So they decide to go from this meeting to the liquor store to get some wine to go hang out. And in the meantime, they get into it with these girls, and they go to their house and they perform a hate crime on him. Now, here's the thing. This whole movie is filmed in one take. The camera does not stop moving the whole for an hour and a half.
Oh man.
It was the most horrible, cringy thing I've ever seen. Like I said, these women, these really white supremacists, they were the conversation, everything. It was the most cringy, horrible movie I've ever seen. I couldn't believe it was actually produced.
Yeah. Well,
Avoid it.
that's what Hollywood wants. They want you thinking all white people are racist, and I mean
Whew.
that probably won awards.
I hope not. Yeah, these reviews. Oh, you gotta watch it. No, you don't. Getting a
Uh,
little more selective. I'm learning.
yeah, right. Airline slammed after unruly male passenger flying business class urinated on a woman traveling from New York. Why would the airline get slammed?
I don't know. How do you control that?
Yeah, I mean, this dude's a weirdo. Air India. Yeah, I know. Systematic failure after unruly male passenger flying business. Yeah, I don't know how you blame the airline for that. You arrest the guy. Done.
Mm-hmm.
What,
Yeah. What
what
can you do?
what's the airline supposed to do? Do a mental check of every passenger they have? Well, that might be the next thing.
Well, I mean, when they enforce masks now, what do you want to enforce? Everyone has depends on, and it's belted on and locked that you cannot get your privates out for the whole flight, so
Hey,
no one can pee on somebody. I mean, there's no way you can, you can't nerf the world.
no. Well, you put a catheter in every passenger.
Yeah.
I'm never flying again. And what if you're just flying like from Decatur to Springfield? It's like a 15-minute flight. It's going to take you longer to put the catheter in.
Yeah, we're not going there. No, but I mean, what can you do? How is it the airlines,
Yeah, I
how do
mean,
you control this?
I think
The
people
blame
want to,
game?
yeah, they want somebody to blame, but they're afraid to blame this guy because there might be something mentally wrong with him. And then, you know, this one comes from Laredo, Texas. Hello to all our fans in Laredo.
Oh yeah, we're big in Laredo.
I think so. That's where we get most of our viewers. Anyway, this lady, Evan, she is wanted for stealing fajita meat from several grocery stores. Yeah, she ain't like stealing. She wants the shit already pre-cut up. And I don't blame her. Why work if you don't have to?
Very selective shoplifter.
Right. And here she is. I mean, she's she kind of a beefy gal, if you will.
Looks like she knows her way around a fajita skillet. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, she's still out on. She's wanted, so they haven't caught her.
Man, dangerous people like that on the loose.
Well, do you think you start like leaving fajita meat, like the Roadrunner and shit? Just leaving strips of fajita meat on the sidewalk, and
You gonna try and bait this woman?
yeah, I think so.
That's some killer police work there, Al. Quite a waste of resources.
Uh, we are going to talk about this on Wednesday's show. And it's the Rolling Stone top 200 vocalists, singers of all time. One name that was snubbed
200.
from the list was Celine Dion. Well, her fans are protesting the Rolling Stones office.
It's pretty valid. I mean, we're talking about Celine Dion. I mean,
I'm
doesn't
not.
she just have a like a running thing in Vegas and has for
Yeah,
years?
yeah. And I mean, look, I'm not a fan of the chick, but to not put her on, and I haven't went through the list, but I guarantee you, I'll tell you what, I bet you $100 bill, Neil Young is on that fucking thing. And Neil
I
Young
hope not.
is the worst fucking singer. When he took his music off Spotify like started doubling its money. I don't know if that's true, but fuck Neil Young.
That's a rectally sourced statistic right there.
Yeah, I mean it might have, but I'm like, I guarantee you he's going to be on that list, and you're not going to put Celine Dion. And Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan's another one. Horrible
Oh,
voice.
yeah, great
And
songwriter.
yeah,
But no, horrible singer.
that's the same with Neil Young. Great songwriter. I don't think he's one of the greatest guitarists like he was put in that list, but like a musician and everything like that, he's awesome. I got to give the guy his props. He's not a good singer.
Right. I'm with you. He's not. No, I like some of his stuff, and yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, Amy put it in the chat room. Curse of Oak Island is that show.
Curse of Oak Island.
Evan, man, I'll try to make this your dollar trivia question. Truck spills more than 500 gallons of this on I-95 in New Haven. I got to give you a hint, but the one I want to give you, I'll just give it away.
Is this food or something else?
It would be something you use to prepare food. It's food grade.
Like cooking oil?
Oh, you got it, Evan.
Dang, 500 gallons
Yeah, 500 gallons.
of like vegetable oil?
Yep. It just says cooking oil on I-95 in New Haven. Whoo.
That's a mess.
Man, yeah, because have you ever seen that shit when you like spill a large amount of it and like try to hit it with water?
No.
It almost
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, it would separate. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then if you have like cuz we had the water and everything, it came out real high pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as it hit it, it almost created like this sludge. Oh,
like
it's horrible.
Blew a mist everywhere of just oil film and all that. Yeah, I could see that being a rough cleanup. I never dealt with anything like that. Dealt with some sugar spills at Tate and Lyle. That was pretty fun. Me standing at about 6 inches of sugar syrup.
River of melted butter blocks, Wisconsin waterway after fire at dairy plant.
Just a river. Everybody's dipping their garlic bread in it.
Oh man, I was hoping they had a picture of it, and they don't. They just got a picture of a big stick of butter.
Yeah, I know what butter looks like. Thank you.
Firefighters describe struggling through butter 3 inches thick on steps as a battle blaze at factory.
Awesome.
Oh, that would suck. Hold on. The fire broke out in a butter storage room and the butter started to flow. Probably like lava. Oh, man. It probably burnt like lava, too. You ever had like a butter burn?
Oh, yeah, you don't want any hot grease, anything like that on you. It just, sticks on your skin. Yeah, you have to funnel that. Let's pop some popcorn. I mean, what do you do?
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say how they're... You'd almost have to try to... You'd think you would try to have to block that off from hitting the water and get some pumper trucks in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, you don't want that shit in the waterways.
No,
It's more than
no,
likely going to go to the bottom. It's going to kill off a lot of life and shit in the river. And,
yeah.
man,
It's not good for your ecosystem.
not at all. I,
Neither are those giant oil spills out in the ocean either.
no. We haven't had one of those. We're probably due for,
Oh well, keep your mouth shut.
yeah. Uh, the bizarre saga of Nipton, California, from wannabe cannabis resort to circus town.
A cannabis resort?
Yeah, they wanted to take this. Somebody bought a resort, an old resort, and they wanted to make it uh, circus and adult entertainment company Spiegelworld announced they purchased Nipton, California, a semi-abandoned town which they plan to revive as a artist residency and their base of operations. The desert town has undergone a series of transformations in recent years. This is where I think that Jeffries, that polygamist, when
Okay.
Utah or Nevada or something started coming after him, he tried to buy
Utah.
this town.
Hmm.
So, describing what they envision as the world's first circus town, the company intends to use Nipton as a retreat for its artists and performers to dream, create, and undertake artistic experimentation.
A little touristy attraction.
Yeah.
Hmm. Good luck.
It doesn't. I'm trying to see if it said how much they. Oh, okay. Americans struggled to raise the funds needed for the project and eventually sold the town to Delta International Oil and Gas for $7.7 million. So these were the people that tried to make the weed resort.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't think you need to make a resort for a bunch of pot smokers. A tent and some drinks and snacks, and you're good.
Well, I mean, hell, go to Vegas now. I mean, you can walk around and do whatever you want.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's a resort for it, but it's so open there.
Well, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to smoke weed on like the strip and everything.
But everybody does
I,
now.
I know, including including yours truly did that. But then when I got back, I realized it was a felony if you were caught.
Used to be.
No, if you're smoking weed on the strip, it's a felony.
Really?
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. Former Colorado funeral home owner sentenced to 20 years for selling body parts.
Oh, nasty. To who?
I guess people were calling him, "Hey, you got an extra right forearm down there?" I was just fixing the goddamn lawnmower, and
I mean, but they're not vital organs, or are they just like limbs to freaks, or
I
you don't see someone in the casket below the waist. You don't know, you know, what they could have done. I don't know. I don't like to think about that stuff.
oh hey, remember the guy that pooped on the PT Cruiser?
It was his own, yes.
Yeah, he was drunk. They
No
officially said,
kidding.
yeah, his blood alcohol was point point 0.027. uh,
Yeah.
I was getting ready to say that's news, but we got to see if we got any bozo criminals of the day. It's a new year, but in Florida, things never change, Evan. Our bozo couple had a problem. They were in the process of burglarizing a home. Because you know what, Evan? The couple that burglarizes together stays together.
Oh yeah.
Well, they were in there together when they realized they had hit the jackpot. In fact, they had so much stuff, there was no way they could move it out of the house by themselves. So what did they do? Called 911 for help. Yep, she called 911 to ask for assistance, and she also said they needed a ride to the airport for a weekend getaway they had planned in New York.
She's kind of confused what 911. She called Uber.
When the cops arrived, they were still in the house organizing their stolen stuff. They did get a ride, Evan, directly
Yeah,
to
they did.
jail. Oh my
I thought you were
God.
going to talk about the two guys that broke into the guy's house in Florida, but he was never mind.
He was what?
I'll read it.
Yeah, because
Two
I could.
professional thieves in the U.S. broke into a Florida man's house to rob. Unfortunately, they picked the wrong house as the owner was a giant gay rapist. The notorious gay sex predator tied the two men, aged 54 and 36, and raped them for 5 days.
Oh my God.
A neighbor heard the men's cries and called the police. The consequences left the thieves physically and emotionally damaged.
Well,
You
yeah.
broke into the wrong house, boys.
I mean, so was that guy arrested? I think you would
Well, I
have
mean,
to.
you can shoot someone who comes into your house, so I mean,
I don't think you can keep them and rape them. I mean, I'm no lawyer.
I'm not either, but he didn't kill him.
Well, I guess.
I don't know.
Oh wow.
If you're the judge, I'm like, yeah, time served. You've already been punished enough.
Yeah, and you're a fucking idiot. Now all your buddies are gonna make fun of you. He didn't rape you. You liked it.
You're going back, aren't you?
Yeah, you're going back as soon as you get out of jail. Oh, I don't know though. I could not find that story, Evan. I looked for it, and
It's good to be fact checked.
I know and who knows? It could be true.
Sure.
I could not find it though. Big gay rapist ties up. Maybe it was my search, which I really hope. I'm saying this to anybody. If something happens to me, please come clear my computer search history because I don't want this shit getting public. I mean,
I
I
do a
won't.
radio show. It's not for me.
I won't go to jail. I promise you. There's nothing bad on there. But just the shit I have looked up for this show. If nobody knew that I did the podcast, they would look at that and be like, "What is wrong with this dude?"
Oh, absolutely.
But that's okay. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I should fact check myself. We'll just let you handle the news.
No, because then if I do miss it, I want to see it. But yeah, I did. I did. I double checked on that story, and I could not find it except from the source you found it at. So, who knows?
About as valid as your nightly network news.
Right. I mean, we're probably more on it than ABC, NBC, and CBS. So, we're not making shit up.
Our fact rate.
I mean, our fact checker is pretty much, man, that sounds like bullshit. And look, we don't get paid. So we ain't fact checking shit. If you honestly listen to us to get your news, that's a bad deal. That is a very bad life plan.
That's true. You're right.
We mainly do like news stories that we find somewhat humorous. Which that one is. That's funny as hell.
It's all I ran across lately.
Well,
And Adam Rich died. Do you remember Adam Rich from Eight Is Enough?
oh, okay.
The young
No,
kid on.
you know who I was thinking? The dude off Man versus Food.
Oh,
Yeah, I love
oh, his
that
name
dude.
was Adam Rich, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Adam Rich too.
Oh, yeah, I could see him dying.
Bro, yeah, he got
But no,
huge.
well, yeah, I do know those food challenges.
They've had how many have they had? Like three? And yeah, them guys get huge, but then they have to quit for a little while. It's funny to see them go up and down and you know,
Yeah,
and weight and stuff like that. I could not do those food challenges. There's no way.
no, I'm not a power eater. That's just can't be good for your.
No, you
That
would.
guy's name's Adam Richman.
Who is the dude off Food Net or the Food Show?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, I knew it was okay. Adam Rich, though, I did watch Eight Is Enough when I was growing up. I think we all did my age.
I'm trying to think what he did because I remember back Molotov Cocktail, which turned into V-Shaped Mind.
Uh,
They had a song about, and I thought it was about kid stars, and I remember them mentioning Adam Rich in there. I'm gonna have to dig that tape out and find a tape to play it on,
uh,
tape player to play it on.
yeah, that's the thing, man. I got a couple cassette tapes the other day that I found, and I was like, oh man, I think my deck out there has. And then I got to thinking, I was like, man, I don't even remember the last time I had a car that had a tape deck.
Well, I think my truck actually does, and then my Pathfinder before it did, which I used a couple times, and Dave ate a tape in it, and then after that, I was afraid to use it because I thought it was going to eat one of mine. And I
Yeah,
thought he broke it.
yeah, and see, that's the thing I was getting ready to say. I wouldn't really want to use uh, a tape deck in a car because if it happens in a house, if the tape gets eaten,
Hmm.
it's a lot easier to do than in a car getting that tape out without breaking it.
Yeah, you just leave it in there.
But hey,
Yeah,
I
you're done.
I remember getting NWA straight out of Compton, and I played that thing so much that I was rewinding it, and when it was going back, the 1 inch piece of like clear that was on a
The
cassette tape,
leader.
yeah, it broke away from that. I taped that son bitch myself. I took that
Yeah,
thing apart and I was bumping NWA 15 minutes later.
yeah, I've fixed them before. You got to do what you got to do to have your
Yeah,
tunes.
man. Hell, at that time, what were cassettes? When they first came out, they were like, usually they were on sale for seven or $6.99. But when they first came out, they were like $10.99, $11.99.
Yeah. Yep.
And then when CDs came out, they were first $20. And then
Yeah, they were up.
then they kind of started dropping in price. And for some reason, anything that had that sticker on it, if it had cuss words, it was a couple dollars more.
Ah.
So,
Mm.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
why a lot of times people would get mad because they'd go buy a rap album or something like that. And they'd be like, "Oh, this one's on sale for $5.99 and that one's on sale for $6.99." So they'd grab the cheap one. Well, it's because it's edited, which I
Hmm.
don't understand. You'd think that would cost more.
I don't know. But Metallica, when they did, before they did the Black album, it was after Justice, they did the EP album, and they called it the Garage Days Revisited. They called like the 598 EP or the 998 CD. They put the price on it, printed it on the cover so that the record stores couldn't charge more.
Yeah,
Being that it was an EP, they knew they were going to try to jack it up. I thought that was pretty cool.
hell yeah. Well, some bitch, look at the time already, Evan.
Ooh.
I know we kind of went through that. Man, that was a fun show. I tell you what, my head's kind of been in and out of the game, and today I just I don't know. kind of feel good. I got some things going on the job search. I'm still officially unemployed.
Okay.
Should be finding out about my unemployment. And I've got so many resumes in. I think this week is going to be a very busy week.
Yeah. That's a full-time job looking for
Oh,
a job
I hate it.
sometimes.
I hate it.
Oh, I do too. It's
And,
horrible.
and I've done it every day. I mean, I don't quit on Saturday and Sunday. I got up this morning and, and I'm kind of even looking, away from D-Town and everything. But I'm going to I figured I'm keeping my name. No matter if I move to, Miami, Florida and do this shit just full time on the beach.
You're still Al from D-Town.
Because I am originally from D-Town. So I will,
Exactly.
yeah. So I ain't got to change my name or nothing.
Oh, wear it.
Anyway, gang, Evan, anything you want to say bye or?
Oh, well, I could, but no, I don't have anything else to say. No.
Oh, okay.
So thank you, everyone.
Yep. And man, we will see you guys on Wednesday. We're gonna try to make it through the top 200. Find out why these Celine Dion fans are so mad. So we're gonna on the list. Wednesday we'll do Rolling Stones 200 top singers or whatever. We'll try to fly through it too.
Yeah. So yeah, get early and get a seat up close.
Yeah. You're gonna want to be here early. They do. I don't think there's valet parking, so you'll have to get here on your own. Anyway, gang, we love you. Peace. We will see you Wednesday, or if you don't like the Wednesday show and only come to the Sunday show, we'll see you Sunday. Peace. We love you, and be good to one another.
Later.
And stop streaming. It is time for chili after dark. All right.
All right.
I think we're done. Yep.
Okay.
Right on.
So what is going on?
Not a whole lot, man. We just finished the Facebook Live show. That was bitching. Went pretty good, I think. Now
So you've had a week off. Are you stir crazy yet?
yeah, I have been.
I was wondering.
Yeah, because I mean, Monday I woke up at 2:30, and I was ready to go to work. So, because Monday would have been my my first day officially unemployed. And I woke up and I was like, I sat here for a little bit because I went to sleep right after the show Sunday. And I just woke up and I was ready to go. So I jumped in the truck, went for a ride. And then I fucked up my sleep. I slept like all day one day. Well, the whole morning I was on the computer putting in resumes, and it was just answering the same shit over and over.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I got tired. So I laid down and took a nap, and I slept all goddamn day.
Yeah, and then you mess yourself up, and
Oh,
it's such a weird thing when you lose that structure in your life, and it's I don't know. In my life, when I've been out of work or things like that, I've always been more productive when I've had a job working 40 hours a week. I
right.
would come home and I would crank stuff out because it's like I knew my time was limited and I had to get sleep, and when been without lost jobs, get laid off or whatever, and things happen in life, get sick. It's so weird to lose that structure.
Right. And that is one thing that I have been making myself do. Like the other day, I got up and after I got done with everything, I was thinking, man, I want to rearrange the furniture in my living room. And I've been thinking about it, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. So I got the vacuum out. I vacuumed everything, then started moving furniture and vacuumed like where it was sitting. And so I've been keeping myself busy if I'm not. But I
That's
put
good.
in so many resumes, I'm guaranteed to be working by the end of the week.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's exhausting, and uploading cover letters and all this
Oh
stuff,
my
and
God.
everything got to put in their electronic format. And well, what day did you start this job? Well, what day did you end this job? And when did you start this? Well, you've got clear history for the last 17 years.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
that's
they
like,
they only go back 10 years. And when you and that one guy told me that called me and he goes, "Man, he goes, "You only got one job for the last 10 years?" I said, "Yeah, it would have been 20." And I said, "Actually, I straight up told him, I said, "Honestly, I wouldn't be here if that company didn't close its doors."
yeah,
Because that was a company I was going to at least um, quit hauling trash with. And I think it is. I think I'm kind of done with garbage. I don't think I'm going to get back into it.
it's time for a change.
Yeah, and I put in so much, and I got like forklift experience and stuff like that. So I put into a lot of warehouses and stuff like that, and even a few out of town where I might have to get on the highway, but it's not that far,
Yeah.
you know. But and who knows? I mean, I might end up, moving closer to that job if it's a job that I like, and I always liked working in a warehouse.
Hmm. Yeah, I have no experience.
I like it. I always have. And I realize I'm not I'm not boasting myself up or anything. Uh but like when I do get a job like that, I mean like the last warehouse job, they tried to get me to go into management immediately because it was like I'm manager like when I work. You know what I mean? I keep myself and the people around me. I keep us tight, and I
Hmm.
keep it on a schedule and stuff like that. And I was asked to be a manager, but it's almost like in the situation I was in when I got offered the promotion and I turned it down. The managers there weren't respected. The team leaders were. So I ended up telling them, I'll be a team leader, but I won't go into management. And them guys, I mean, that was my crew, is the way I looked at it. And I didn't take no shit from the supervisor. If he was going after one of my guys for something they didn't do, then I stuck up for him. So
Hmm.
that's how that job ended though, because they got that one supervisor in there, and I knew the first day they introduced him, I was like, my days are numbered here. Put it this way: when I went in and talked to the owner, I put in my 2 weeks, and he straight up looked at me and said, "Al, I'm gonna cut you a check for 2 weeks," and he goes, "I'm gonna go ahead and let you go." I was like, "For real?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he said, "Number one," he goes, you got a vacation coming up anyway. He goes, "I'll give you another week for that." So I ended up like getting 4 weeks vacation or
Hmm.
4 weeks pay. I'm sorry, but I got 2 weeks vacation pay because I ended up having like 10 days because I never call off either. And that's another thing, you put that shit on a resume and stuff. I've been a decade without a call off.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I missed some time because I got hurt, but if I got hurt at work, I always finished the day, and then I
Yeah.
would go to the hospital.
No, I hated call off unless I really, really was sick. I felt like a cheat or something,
Right.
I couldn't. And I rarely ever did.
Yeah, with me it was we had such a small company, like on the garbage. We had such a small company, and it's not like my routes were, um, you can just go to a town and pick them up. I had,
Mm.
in fact, here, let me read something to you that I got today that I was just amazed by. It was uh, it was an email from Google. Oh, I gotta find this. But it was saying how many miles that I drove in December, and it was almost 5,000 miles.
Wow.
Yeah, and my longest day was or the most driving was December 28th, and it was like 178 miles I drove.
So yeah, for your work, you probably drove 60,000 miles a year, and
Yeah.
that's quite a lot. I've known people to put like 50,000 miles on their car a year, 40,000 being in sales and stuff, and they're just living in them and all over. That's a lot of driving. I'd go nuts.
Oh man.
And the
Yeah.
way you're doing it too, you're not doing it at
Yeah, you're not just
at
driving.
speed.
No, right. You're not, and you're in a 20, empty. That truck was 27,000 pounds, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's beating the hell out of you on them country roads. You get out at every stop. So you got to climb down. You got to climb back up. Man, I'm going to be 50 in March. I'm done with that shit.
You need to be.
I'm done.
I,
That's why a lot of people are like, "Why didn't you sign on with GFL?" Number one, I've heard nothing good about this company. Tuesday afternoon, they had 20 drivers walk out.
wow.
Yeah, and so I mean, I don't know. I
That's
just
that's an area you cannot play with garbage, man.
no, no, because there ain't too many people wanting to do it. And my biggest thing about it was they told us that we were our seniority would go over with us, but what they were starting me out and what they were starting the guy that just started 2 years ago was the exact same thing. So how is that giving me my seniority? If you're
Yeah.
starting me at the same pay that this guy's, no. So you're not giving me my seniority, and I'm not going to sign with you.
I'm
Which
with you.
they have lost a lot of business because of me. This new company. Because if I
Yeah.
didn't go, a lot of people went to a different company. They called and they made, so.
Hmm.
And I actually thought about going to the one garbage company and working for them and just try to get, that big corporation out of there, which it's not even an American corporation. Their headquarters is in Canada. I think we get Boxing Day off if I would have signed with them. I, I,
Oh,
I'm joking. I don't know, but it
awesome.
it was just I couldn't do it, man. I fought so long against that corporation when it was area, and I fought so hard against them that it would have been really weird to say, "Hey, I know I got you from area and saved you money for a couple months, but here you go. Here's your bill." I didn't want to be there when these farmers get that first bill because they're going to go ape shit.
Yeah. New
Farmer,
world.
yeah, farmers had a bad year anyway with the cost of pesticides and fuel and shit like that. And now you're getting ready to triple their garbage bill on them? Shit, good luck.
Getting squeezed. We're all getting squeezed.
Man. And what I think the saddest thing about the whole situation is you had two big corporations come in and just swallow up every mom and pop's place that was out. And now you, like here in town, in the town I live in, you have two choices for containers now. You know, you got Waste Management or you got GFL.
Yeah, very common.
Yeah. So
Big companies buy up the little companies, and
then they can raise their rates whatever they want.
yeah, and they just suck money from a town.
And that's what they do. And Walmart did the same thing. If you remember, like Walmart's prices now are kind of ridiculous, and not just with inflation, but what they do is they drop their prices so low and they make deals with all these people to keep them prices low for a few years where the mom and pop stores can't compete.
Mm-hmm.
And then after all them are closed, then they raise the prices up.
Yeah, they can operate at a loss for a while.
Yeah, they sure can. Well, hell, they can write it off and the taxpayers get to pay it.
Mm-hmm. It's brilliant. And the transfer of wealth continues.
Oh, yeah. There is one thing I was thinking about the other day, and ever since we quit doing the Hey Decatur show on Wednesdays, and since our last one, we have not talked politics at all.
No.
And
I try not to. There's so much circus right now.
Dude, I love it. I love it. I actually, man, because even though I like doing that Wednesday show and I felt like, you know, we were actually given some, you know, some good information about them city council meetings and everything, it would just lead into a political talk. And now, there was times I'd get off that Wednesday show and I'd be so angry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just because I'm thinking, man, we're getting screwed and these people don't fucking see it. And, you know.
But yeah, and the tough thing is you don't want to be a broken record. You know, you get your point across, but after that, you know, where do you go with it?
Yeah.
Just it's frustrating and it causes problems with possible listeners.
Well, you know what, and I mean, it's an afterthought now. But it was like what just happened with the company that I work for. And when they offered all the drivers $24 and they offered all the helpers so much money, do you know how much power we would have had if we stood together and said, no, we're not doing that? They wouldn't have been able to sell that company because nobody would know the routes, you know? Yeah. And I think he lost money for everybody that didn't sign. You know, so, because shit, if I can collect unemployment, I'm going to collect unemployment. You're going to pay me for the time that, you know, that I had to look for another job.
Yeah. But like you said, people don't get together and
no,
everybody's afraid of being on the outs or losing out or, you know, missing a dollar, and we don't look at the bigger picture.
Right. And look, I need a job. I got a truck with a $600 car note. I mean, it would have been, I'm not going to even say it would have been a smart thing to do for me to sign that GFL contract, but if I would have, I sold myself out for something that I said I would never do. The only beef that I have with the owner of my old company was I was offered a very, very good manager's job about 6 years ago, and I declined it. I went and I talked to him, the owner of the company I was working for, and I told him, hey, this is what they offered me. He matched it. He's like, I can do this and do this and do this. I said, all right. I said, I'm going to stay with you. I said, just please do one thing for me. And he's like, what? I said, if you ever even think about selling, please give me enough notice to find something else. Yeah, I promise you, but we ain't selling. We ain't selling. We ain't selling. And then,
Yeah,
to tell us the week before Christmas, come
that
on. Come on,
that
man.
that number got to a point where he just couldn't walk away from you.
Right. And I understand that. But and maybe he knew that if he gave me enough time, I would have left, you know.
Hmm.
And maybe that's why he put somebody with me all the time. The only day I didn't have a helper was Friday, even days I didn't need it. So,
To learn.
yeah. And, that's smart on his. But if he knew that long ago, that kind of bothers me. But it is what it is. I just think you have a crew like that. And I mean, everybody wanted to, everybody always asked me, hey, your place hiring? No, nobody left.
It's a good
So,
sign.
so I mean, to me, if you walk away with that big of a payday, you hook your guys up. Even the guys that ain't staying, it's no concern. I didn't quit on him. I made sure, I got paid on Thursday. I could have gave the middle finger and not worked Friday. And I didn't because, I mean, the guy that's the supervisor now, that was another thing. I had an issue with taking, for that guy being my boss, and he would have been. And I just saw the writing on the wall.
Hmm.
So, and I'm usually not like that. I'm usually pretty easy to get along. I take, I can take good direction and good supervising and stuff like that. But when you're just
Well,
when when you're just doing it to get out of work, I notice that.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. The people you work with that can make your life miserable, and I've been there before. Someone who just I was absolutely miserable sharing an office with this person, working with this person. I was just let me out. They finally let me go, and it was just one of the best things that happened to me.
right on. Well, Evan, I think shit, we're about done. We gave him an extra what?
Mm, About another 18 minutes.
Yeah, about another 20 minutes. I do want to say one thing. Um, one of the guys that I've done the radio that got me started on IP radio with the worst damn show ever. He had surgery on his knees and shit, and Ray Lytle,
Mm,
and he actually sent me a message, and I might be helping out on a couple shows this week.
cool.
So uh, I may be on there. So if I do, I'll share the link. Shit, Ray's a funny guy. They got a funny show over there, and hell, we don't care if you go. That's one thing I like about podcasting. Instead of the radio thing we used to do,
Hmm?
I don't feel like we're competing with anybody except Joe Rogan.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are. We're coming after Joe Rogan.
He doesn't know it.
I'm gonna send Spotify a nasty email tomorrow saying, why don't you carry the Al from D Town show? Love Al from D Town.
Yeah, it's so popular on Facebook.
Hey, we have been getting good numbers though. And people are liking the page. We have new page likes. It's only 3 or 4 a month, but you know what? I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
It's better than losing a bunch of people.
true.
So, Evan, tell these fine people goodbye.
All right. Good night, everyone. Have a wonderful week, and thanks for joining us.
Guys,
Episode 65.
yeah, guys, I love you. Thank you for letting me get my work shit off my chest. You're my new therapy people because I don't have insurance right now.
Hey, something good for us to talk about.
Oh, shit. But anyway, guys, we love you. Be sure to join us Wednesday for the list. We've been putting the list on YouTube. We do not put it on AlfromDtown.com. So if you're on AlfromDtown.com, just go to the YouTube channel link right there on the front of the page and click that, and it'll take you right to it. Last week was 25 greatest rock guitarists. We agreed on a few, and there were some that were just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I want to say this so we can name this episode of the podcast Fuck Neil Young. But Neil Young is not one of the 25 greatest guitar players of all time.
Or singers.
Yes, or singers. So fuck Neil Young. Anyway, guys, episode 65 in the books. We'll catch you next week for 66. Peace. We love you. Be good to one another.